Welcome to Real Estate Success DFW, the podcast where top producing agents from Dallas-Fort Worth come together to share their stories and strategies behind their success. I'm Shaune Corbett, your host, and with over 300 million sold in the local real estate market and the honor of being best of B multiple times, I know what it takes to make it in this market. Each episode, we're going to dive into the world of real estate, learning from the very best in the industry. If you're ready to level up your game, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Hey everyone, it's Shaune Corbett with Real Estate Success DFW, and today I've got Bettina Sastoque. Am I close, right? Sastoque?
Yeah, Sastoque. Like, think of it like Spanish when you say Y, it's like gay, so Sastoque.
Sastoque.
Oh,
How are you?
amazing. Fantastic. I'm so happy. It's kind of the joke around here.
Well, you're in a peaceful place, and we're going to get to it. You're no longer in the suburbs. You're now in the van by the river, like we joked about.
Years ago, right?
Yeah.
Close.
Like I don't know, did you regress? Did you get promoted? We're going to talk about that because I know a lot of your life is really, you've got a lot more peace when you don't have all the things calling your name and things you have to be responsible for. I think there's a certain benefit to that for sure.
It's living your life by design, and as we go through seasons, it's making sure. I'm very passionate about agents designing their life for them and their personal desires and wants, and being aware of what that is, so that when they arrive to whatever that destination is, it's the destination that they chose versus what somebody else or society chose for them.
It's fantastic. I do want to definitely talk about that. I want to cover a little bit of background. I've known both of you, you and Juan, for, I think 7-8 years. Well, let's say about 6 to 7 years, probably about then. Because I know about the point that I met you. You know where I actually met you, and you won't remember this. You were actually, you guys were on stage at a conference at the brokerage that we're currently with. And you guys were you were one of the headliners. There was probably about 5 headliners, and you guys were one of them. And I remember that because you talked about your background coming from soccer and things like that. Yeah, this has been a while. And you didn't know me at the time, but I remember that. So, at the time, you guys were the superstars on stage, telling your story. And you guys were great. We're comfortable up there. We had, I got to think, like 700-800 people, and it was a big group.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Wow, you remembered.
Yeah, I do. I remember. I have pretty good memory. So what got you into real estate? Let's just cover some basics.
Well, okay. The fundamentals is my husband used to be a professional soccer player. When you retire, you naturally coach. And then over time, we built a soccer business. And we had our son, Logan, started kindergarten. And what we realized is that my husband, who's an amazing dad, wasn't going to get to spend as much time with them, because when you're a soccer coach, you're spending nights, weekends, holidays on the soccer field with other people's coach. So we went to my dad and we're like, hey, we need to do something so that we can spend more time with our children versus, working. Because when they go to school, we don't get to see them. And we had a plan to have 2 more children at that time. And my dad had just moved back to the States from Thailand. He'd been in Thailand for 50 years-ish. And he says, Bettina, you know what? Back in the day, salespeople used to help. Like, you walk in the store and they're like, how can I help you? Now you walk in, they're like, what you looking to buy? And he said, Bettina, you naturally like to help people. That has always been your tendency. You gravitate towards it, and you've gotten really good at helping people. You need to do that. I think you'll make a killing in sales because of that. I was like, great, sales, check, got it. What am I selling? And my Aunt Sissy in Houston, we call her Sissy because my dad's the baby and called her Sissy. So to this day, she's almost 90 and we call her Aunt Sissy. She just had her birthday. And he said she did really well in real estate. She used to be a teacher, and she eventually owned a real estate franchise. He said, Sissy can do it, you can do it. So that's how we got into real estate. Some people, they get into real estate because they love houses, they like showing properties, they like HGTV, or they watch some show. But I got into real estate because my aunt did it, and I love to help people.
Love
And
it.
we needed a way to control our time with our children.
I think there's a inspiration for people. They get into real estate feeling like they can now take control of their time. And it doesn't always work that way. Unfortunately, where, clients tend to be your boss and you follow wherever they lead you sometimes, unfortunately. But you do get a considerable amount of time that you can control, and there's certainly a benefit with that as well. So I do like that. I like that you saw where your heart was. It makes a big difference, right? When we're talking to clients, they know your heart, and your heart's not trying to get them to give you a check or pay you. Your heart is to solve a real estate problem for them.
Right.
What can we do that's going to give you the maximum benefit? And at the end of the day, everything is done. They reach success, then we do get paid. And that is the way we can earn a living. I think it's a fantastic, way to earn a living. I love that. You make that a part of
Well,
who you are.
we get paid in proportion to the value in which we add.
Sure. Yeah.
So
Good thought.
that's,
One of the things, like where you're living now, one of the things that you wanted to talk about is living your life. What does that mean to you when I say that?
oh gosh. So just to clarify, this is me and not everybody else, right? Because living the life that I'm living now, right? So I've been through a number of seasons. I was, as in life, when our kids were younger, we did competitive sports, competitive gymnastics, competitive dance, competitive soccer. Ava's almost 15 and we love to travel. So for us, we sold our house and it kind of was on a whim. We were going to buy another house, which was going to give us a different lifestyle. But in that process, we had moved into our RV and we kind of made a collective decision as a family to not purchase another house and to move into our RV, which meant we had to give away everything we owned. We had everything in 3 huge storage units. So we gave it all away. It's surprisingly not as easy as it sounds. Like it would have been much easier to let the movers go take our stuff and move it into the other house. But we gave it all away, and now everything we own is in our RV or in a 5x5 storage unit.
I'd say an
And
extreme illustration of this is that we think of the freest people on earth are people that are homeless because they pay no taxes. They owe nobody anything. No one can hold them. There's no hooks in their life, so you're kind of like treading that direction where you don't have the same type of expenses and things that we're carrying and taxes and things like that, which is a cool feeling, that you get to experience.
yeah, I wouldn't say that free. We just don't have our home is on wheels versus in one place, right? So we still have a home. And this is kind of like people struggle with that concept. I still pay taxes. I still own property. I still work. We still do all the other things. We're taking out the competitive sports. We're taking out the institutional school. And we're here in Lake Louisville for a minute. Then we're going to go to Tetons, Yellowstone. We're going to go, and then wherever the wind takes us. And then we're going to Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. I've never been. We're going to go to Acadia National Park, Niagara Falls, Stowe, Vermont. But it's kind of like, and people are very concerned. It's like, because of our physical location, but we have technology. Look at you and me.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I had a conversation with somebody who's in Germany. Technology has allowed us to be geographically free. Now, you know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
I was able to open myself to that, and it was hard. Like, we still think, oh, how are we going to do this? But we had that faith that it would work out, and we will figure it out. Just like we figured everything else out in life. We're figuring this out.
I love it. What would you think if I said you're worth it? Is that a inspiration for you, or is this things that you share with others when you say you're worth it?
Say that one more time. Ask that one more time.
You're worth it. That was something I think that you wanted to kind of cover. Maybe it's an inspiration. Is that for you, or is that what you share with others? What do you think about that?
Well, Something's going on here. I don't even know. Some music popped up. So I spent a year with Brandon Burchard's Ultra program. Okay. It's a coaching program. On the first day of every month, I'd fly to LA and get poured into by Brendan Burchard, Ed Milet, Anthony Trucks. One of them was Jamie Kern Lima, who wrote a book called Worthy. So one of the points that everybody agreed to, right, is that, and we see this, professional athletes, I'm going to give an example. Professional athlete, they come on and they make $1 million and they blow it because there's something in our subconscious that we got programmed that made us believe, right, in our subconscious that we are not millionaires, right? You see people who win a lottery or whatever, or they build a successful business, but then they blow it. Something happens in our subconscious, we sabotage it in our subconscious. And a part of that is that we don't feel that we're worth whatever it is. So we make micro decisions that sabotage the outcome that'll keep us from getting there. And then next thing you know is like, well, see, like, that's just not me. And we'll say things like that impact our subconscious. Yeah, that's just not me. I don't do that. I don't like nice things. But if we can just say, we're worth it. We're worth anything we want in life, right? And start becoming more aware of when we do those micro-sabotaging thoughts. When we can control those micro-sabotaging thoughts and replace them with empowering thoughts that says that we're worth it, over time, we'll start living up to the life that we desire outside of what anybody else thinks that should be. How's that sound?
I have a tendency of speaking in crayon sometimes, where you have a kind of a more complex subject and we bring it down to a level people can understand, or like an analogy. I think about it, there's a subconscious that you have that you will live and think poor versus live and think rich. There are people that, it's not even how they're raised. I take it personal, but my brother and I were raised in the same house, but he thinks poor all the time. And he actually had more money and opportunities than I did, but he still thinks poor. The money comes in, we're going to spend it instead of building for the future. And he's got a lot of examples of that, but he still has a poor mindset about everything that he does. And he can't grow wealth or become well off because he spends.
So is he listening? Sorry, brother. Yeah. We're calling you out.
Yeah, well, and he knows. I speak, in honesty. I just think that, and I've had these conversations with him. It wouldn't be anything compromise. But the reality is, I think that there are people that will never move forward because they always have a poor mindset. Even if, like you said, they make lots of money doing something, their behavior, their habits, and I love that you break it down to what they see themselves being worth as a outpouring of how they live their life, and they may not think they deserve those things. I mean, that's a good way of thinking about it.
And they can't envision it. Like when I visit with a new agent, and I see them so often bringing the baggage of their old life to being a realtor, right? Real estate. And some of it is good, but like if we're going to Hawaii, I don't need to bring that winter coat. And I see they're schlepping that winter coat thinking that it's so incredibly valuable in this new role in real estate. We're going to Hawaii. You don't need that winter coat, that big old furry, thick coat. And it's heavy and it's old and it's used. So a lot of times if they would let go of that part of their baggage, just bring the parts that they need, toothbrush, toothpaste, whatever, the key tools, essential tools and beliefs, and then think about what they want their life to look like moving forward, visualize themselves doing that, then they can start acquiring the tools and packing their real estate toolbox right? Their real estate suitcase with where they want to be. And I think if we can spend more time dreaming about where we want to be and where we want to go, and just working on that imagination and allowing it without
Restrictions, boundaries.
restrictions or being afraid of it,
No.
or without qualifying, well, I don't know how to do that. You don't have to know how, right? That will come if you can just dream it and then believe. I believe in that. Like, people call it, oh, it's manifestation. And it doesn't mean you sit back and you wait, but you put in the work. Like, for me to get to where I'm at now in the RV, sitting here, hiding behind the RV, right, from the breeze. I think a storm's coming tomorrow. But like, to get here, it wasn't easy. It was a lot of work. Like, a lot of work.
And be there without stress, right? Because anybody, I mean, we can certainly go buy an RV, but we may not have things in order. You know, you've got to have things in order to be able to kind of unhook from certain spaces and things.
Don't you know people that they're going to be stressed no matter what? It's
Sure.
just their tendency. It's their comfort is to be stressed.
Yep.
And then you know people that you're like, your anxiety level probably needs to be up here a little bit, but it's just they're not going to go there. So it's not the condition that causes the stress. It's not the outside world that causes the stress. All that comes from within. We've chosen it.
That's good. So you're following in that building by design. We haven't brought that topic up, but you're really kind of talking a lot about things that you do, decisions you've made, places you've been. You know, you've had this epiphany. We're going to reach a certain point and you don't know what it looks like. You know,
Right.
It's going to be free of a lot of the stresses and things that are holding us back, or and exterior things. I understand that you say it comes from the inside.
Well, it's a different stress. It's just I'm choosing, like, I still, like, we all have this life. Let's say it's this big, right? What I'm choosing, and just because I gave out the house doesn't mean that my life, like, it's less. I still have the same amount of space. I'm just choosing to put a different stuff in that space. Like, our life in our house, we made it a home. It was wonderful. When my kids, like, jumping in the pool, we had pool parties, we had parties at our house. Like, I loved it. It was great. Like, it's just we're in a different season.
Yeah.
Like, there was nothing, and I think that's it. People think, oh, something must have been wrong. Or when we leave a situation or we leave a place, it's not that it's wrong. Like, when I go from the Tetons to Yellowstone, it's not that I don't like the Tetons. It's not that I'm sick of the Tetons. It's just that I get to experience Yellowstone now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing.
Some of the things, there are things you have to put in place in order to be able to have the freedom to do this, right? And one of them is scaling or just making yourself more efficient. You guys do, you've hired VAs. I know I've talked to you for years. I know that's been a part of your business. How do you incorporate VAs as a part of your real estate business?
How do I not incorporate VAs into my real estate business?
Well, they're probably not driving around showing houses for you, so there's some limitation.
No, like, anything that has, like, this morning, I was like, I need you to update this paragraph, you know, make these updates and then send it to get signed off on, and then all that. That freed me up to have this conversation with you, right? I have the personal negotiating part, the advising, right? That's a part I enjoy, like helping somebody. I do not enjoy I'll do it. I can do it. I do it sometimes, but the filling in the blanks, the hitting submit, send, chasing, sending the text message saying, hey, we sent this, sending the text message, hey, we got this, all that, not my joy, right? Editing videos, not my joy. Putting listings in the MLS and uploading photos, not my joy. Scheduling the photographer, not my joy. It doesn't add, it's something that has to get done, not my joy. And now, like with AI, I invested in our agents to learn how to utilize AI to a high level. And I also give them the I encourage them to take time to level up on their AI skills. And what I actually now I only have one VA. One VA is doing the work of four, which means not only on cost, but the time and energy in managing four VAs versus one VA is huge.
Yeah.
Now, Cookie and I, she's like my best friend. We work together, right? She's my partner. And as long as she's like wanting to work with me, I'm excited to have her.
Yeah, she's on our Friday calls that we do, the leadership calls. So absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
So since you're utilizing AI more effectively, I want to get a couple of examples of what you're doing. Like for one, I know I'm not actually talking to Bettina, I'm talking to the robot impersonator AI Bettina. Because you're getting really good at this AI thing. Give me some examples of what you're utilizing AI like right now. I mean, in the space today.
Well, I have several, like I'll use ChatGPT for bigger projects. So I was playing the other day because somebody put on Facebook that they were complaining about the bus, the school bus, and they couldn't figure that out. Like, why? Like, it came 20 minutes late and their kid had to wait in the rain, and very upset about that. And I was like, well, so I went into AI and I created the structure for the software and figured out utilizing AI what software to use to put together and that whole entire business. So how to develop that, how to write that, how to do all of that in order for schools to run like an Uber and to let parents know when the school bus is a certain amount and to how close it is, not close it is. And that was just for giggles. That would have been, and it timed it out. It did the entire business. And so it said in about 2 years after marketing, testing the whole thing, it should be able to go across. So if anybody wants to do that business with me, let me know, because I don't want to execute it, but it's like I can do the marketing on that. Just want somebody to do the technical stuff. And that's something like Glenn the other day, I don't know if you saw his post. In 7 hours, he created, get this, he created a record label and uploaded 7 songs from his record label to Spotify.
I wrote a funny Facebook post about 2 weeks ago where I foresee in 5 years AI will be all of our music and will write all of our books. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a scary thought.
Well, my daughter, she said, well, people are saying they don't like AI generated music because it's too perfect and the art is in the imperfection. And I told her, I said, they said the same thing about autotune. They said the same thing about, electric pianos. Like there's something about the imperfection of a piano, right? Of a string piano or stringed instruments or live instruments versus simulation. But now we use simulation all the time, right? We use autotune. So over time, right now, our feelings are hurt that AI can create music that we might enjoy. But here we go. You look at techno, I see like folks, like huge crowds. They're watching this huge light show and one DJ on stage pushing a button and dancing. And I'm like, that's the show.
I created a listing about 2 months ago, and I looked at all the highlights of the house, and I had ChatGPT create lyrics to match like a Fleetwood Mac song.
Yes.
And it created the lyrics to match it because I figured my target buyer would probably be their second or third house. I mean, it's not a real expensive home. It's just it's a transition type place where it's a townhome.
That's fun.
By the Flower Mound Riverwalk.
How fun is that?
So when I took the lyrics and then I put it into an AI music generating program, and it created a artist to sing the song, and it highlighted all the things about the house and is written for the house, and it does. It sounds professional.
I love that. And that's what I love about AI. AI can actually enhance our experience. our life experience. And if we utilize it that way and think about it that way, like I talk to people all the time, they're like, oh, I'm scared of AI. And I'm like, well, that's okay. You can be afraid of it, but what are you afraid of? Like they're afraid that it's going to take over. Well, it is. So now that we know that, are you going to be on board or just sit in the background and be afraid and reduce your learning curve? Because AI has elevated my life experience. I'm spending less time planning our trip. Like something goes wrong with the RV. It's part of owning an RV. RV, boat, it's just a lot. It's expensive, right? There's always something to be fixed. I can put it into AI and it tells me what to do. I went to Aldi's the other day and I did it at Costco too. I took a picture of the wine section and I said, hey, I'm looking for a Malbec, a good Malbec. Which one, what should I get? And it told me which one, the color of it, where it was located on the shelf, and the color of the little sleeve, that it was orange. Like in my everyday life, people say, oh, I use it for the description. I use it for this. Yeah, it's easy to use it for work, but use it for your life. Train it. Like if you look at ChatGPT, there's pre-trained GPTs, like a pre-trained life and business coach.
It can
Pre-trained.
get to know you as much as you put into it. It will know you and it'll know what you like and what you don't like and what you're looking for. It can kind of start finding you a space where you want to get to. It can do that for you.
Yes, and do it on purpose. So people are like, well, I don't know where to start. So you're like, hey, ask me 5 questions that'll help you better help me. Talk to text, answer those questions. And then you say, okay, would you like to ask me more questions or you feel good? Ask me some qualifying, like some more questions that'll help you help me better. Poof. And just keep doing that. If you just do that every day and be very intentional, right? And this is the hard part, allow AI to almost take the lead. Ask it the questions like, hey, what else do you need to know from me? What do you think I can do more effectively? Now, once it knows everything, you can actually wake up in the morning and say, all right, I need you to plan my day. What have I got going on today? Like plan my day so that I am the best version to help me be the best version of myself that I want to be, that'll help me reach my goals.
That's fascinating. I've not gotten that deep into AI. I use it all the time, but I haven't thought about taking it beyond, just answering questions that I give it to actually help give me direction. For example, I've got this podcast and I'm trying to grow that, and I want to grow my Facebook group where I add agents in and I want to teach them and train them and help them. But I'm kind of like manually doing this. I'm just going to random network events and I'm doing a lot of random things. And it's growing and it's working, but I bet AI could probably get me there faster and make greater impact and more efficient because it will cut a lot of the wasted time that I'm doing.
And the other thing I love about AI, let's say we have somebody we'd like to model, right? You're like, this is where I'm at. I really like what this person's doing over here. I like what this person's doing here. I'd like to incorporate like this YouTube channel and this TikTok or this. And so whatever it is, right? This podcast, you tell your AI that. You're like, hey, I really love what they're doing. And, help me kind of format my podcast so it's more like this, right? And just say, how do I get that same audience that this person has? So use it like that. Use it as an advisor. How do I? So it really relieves us having to be the know-it-all. We don't have to know anything. We just need to be able to ask the right questions, which is phenomenal in real estate because that has always been the case, right? Like it's not about what you're telling people, it's about the questions that you're asking them. If you ask the right questions, you'll get the better answers. AI, we have been training for years, Shaune, for AI. Ask the right questions, you'll get better answers.
That's right. It makes a difference for sure, knowing where you want to go and how you're going to get there, but asking questions that'll help us achieve what we're looking for. I mean, and it is good to ask those type of questions in order to achieve that. I think that's fantastic. You wrote a book.
Oh yeah, AI and I wrote a book. And the concept is like, so I love Brendan, I love Tom Ferry, Brian Buffini, Ed Milet, Jamie Kern Lima. So I asked AI to help, but what I found with agents is that they don't have a vision of where they want to be, right? Necessarily, or the vision is based on the little that they know when they're new, and you're right. We only know what we know, and then when we dream, it's based a lot of times on what we know. That's as big as our dream can get. So I utilize their tone, language, and advice to help an agent go through the process of developing their vision for their business by asking questions. And it comes with the workbook that you can update every year, right? You work through that to grow the vision that you have for what you want in your business
Love it.
over time. I couldn't have done it on my own in that period of time. And it's time, like, I'd like to update it a little bit, but I love it. Like, I look through it. It's very simple. It's got some great quotes in there. And the other thing that I love about the book is that we customize it to you. So it's going to be, you're the main character, right? So the book starts with nothing, no past, only the present moving future. So Shaune, male, and niche market. And we incorporate, so this becomes a book about you. Shaune is the main character in North Texas, whatever your market is, in commercial real estate and residential real estate. And then, yeah, it's fun. I love helping folks grow their vision and being able to see themselves as this new person, right? And see themselves as the person that they can become if they're willing to put in the work, put in the effort, be consistent and persistent every single day to achieve that.
And we can get more information. It's wantabettina.com, which is your main website. You guys have a lot of things, a lot of resources there, backslash or forward slash book. And
Yeah.
that would take you to this space. And you have, I think I remember going to it, and it has a picture of whoever it is, and it's interchangeable.
On the cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can actually kind of come up with your story, where you're going.
Yeah.
Vision's hard for a lot of
I
people.
think it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, vision's really hard for people to get a hold of or see, and they just don't have that imagination. They don't know where they could be or what could be. They have the idea, I want to do this for these reasons, but those reasons, it will get you through the first few months, maybe year, but it won't carry you forward if you don't really have something bigger than, I want to have more control of my schedule, or I want to make more money doing this than doing something else. That's not a vision of a future. That's just what we're covering today.
That's a task. Yeah. So I was taught this. So I had been taught in the past, like, hit the ground running. You wake up, you hit the ground running. 2 feet on the floor, get up, brush your teeth, let's go. Right. But more recently, Brennan had shared this. He said, take that time when you wake up in the morning, but you're not quite awake. And instead of you're forcing yourself wide awake, kind of stay in that haze space and dream on purpose, right? Start dreaming before your conscious starts taking over. And get in the habit of every day just laying in bed and just kind of daydream for a minute. And and I was like, that's true. And I don't do that all the time, but when I do, oh my goodness, it's impactful. We're changing our subconscious. And when and everything that we do is in our subconscious. Like our instinct, like something happens and we have a reaction to it. An unconscious reaction, right? So let me backtrack. Every feeling that we have, before we have that feeling, we actually have a breath. That breath happens in our subconscious. And then we feel it. And once we feel it, we become conscious of it, right? So if we can learn to control that breath, we control our feeling. We control our subconscious. It's easier to control that initial subconscious breath, which gives us the feeling that we become aware of. Does that make sense?
I always think of feelings as responders or reactors.
Yes.
We shouldn't use it for leading into things, but they can give us some encouragement, excitement. But the idea is they respond to the things we do right, or the things, whatever we do. I mean, it's
Right.
their reaction or response.
It's a reaction to also outside. It's usually outside, right? Like something happens and we're like, versus inside, I think. Maybe it's just me. I'm a DS, right? You're a D. So yeah. But absolutely. I like the way you said that. It's a responder. It's secondary.
Well, it was something I heard from a pastor like 25, 30 years ago. He talked about, logic helps us make decisions. And then when we have responses, the responses are emotions and stuff. And everyone can't just be a robot. We can't just say, hey, there's the formula, let's go play and execute. But there are plenty of people that have strong emotional responses and they make decisions on them. And then that ends up leading them in spaces that they shouldn't be in. I just think enjoy responses. Don't use them to make decisions.
There's a balance.
Sure. I also think about, we only have 2 minutes to live, all of us, until we take that breath. And then we've got another 2 minutes. I think people will just take that for granted.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember I heard Gary Vaynerchuk. I saw a little clip of him and they're like, so what's your motivation? And he said, death. And I didn't understand that, right? Until more recently. And I was like, when you think that you only have a limited amount of time.
Yeah.
Right? It's not a negative, it's a positive. It's like you appreciate every moment. Like this time, I feel like I'm running out of time with my daughter. She's 15. My son, I enjoy every moment of time that I have with Logan or Sebastian. Like that time, if I get a hug, I take it all in. As much time as they'll give me, I'll take it. And that time is the only finite resource we have that it's such a huge value. And I think people don't respect it as much as they should, right?
Sure.
When I'm in the office, I want to make sure and I'm working, I want to make sure I have a spectacular view while I'm working. When I'm sitting at a restaurant, all my friends know if we're going to go somewhere, Bettina wants to be on the patio. I want a great view.
Yeah.
Everywhere we go, because every minute that I spend without a great view, I feel like, I just lost that minute. Like I'm having this time with you, but I have an amazing view. Like this tree right here is gorgeous. Those trees are gorgeous. I saw the lake is right there with the rocks in the background, and I've got the blackbird over there, and earlier I saw some ducks. So maybe it appeals to my ADD to have all this going on in the background, but every time I see it, it just sparks joy in my heart, right? While I'm here with you. So this is like a quadruple whammy. I have an amazing conversation with a dear friend who I respect so incredibly much, and I get to be out here in this beautiful weather. I'm so happy, Shaune. And that for this season, right? I don't know how long it's going to last, but for this season. And it's similar to when my babies were born and I held them in my arms and I was so happy, right? And was able to give them everything at that season. And I don't know. I love living this life on purpose.
That's why I have a conference room here with the view of the city.
Because you love I know, it's right? You look out there and the city's always changing. I love a good city view. You get the traffic, you get the highway, the lights in morning, evenings, nights, days. And then how high is it?
20 stories.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. Because then you get the skyline and the clouds and the weather that's ever changing. Oh, magnificent.
Well, we could go on for a long time. You and I, we have a lot of things that we could cover. What is something you want to promote or share? I know the book was a big thing. Do you have anything else that you would want to direct people to connect with you? Agents, success stories, whatever you feel like. You've got a podcast too that you do interviews. I think you and I are going to do one next week, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. So we have resources at juanandbettina.com. It started really out of me wanting to share things and not and wanting it to be in one place that I could remember. So I have juanandbettina.com/courses. I can remember courses. Vendors. I can remember vendors. Utilities. That's the way I can give my clients utility connections. So it's juanandbettina.com/ and the joke is like, whatever you need, right? And that's how it came about, is just a place for me to put things that I can share with people that works in such a way that Bettina can remember it. So I don't have to go look things up to share. And yeah, and really follow your dreams. I feel like people spend way too much time being employees when they came into real estate wanting an opportunity to become and be and have whatever they want and be willing to put in the work.
Sure. Well, thank you for doing this interview with me in the podcast. It's fantastic. A lot of good things for people to take away from. You're free. I mean, you give advice, you share, you give up whatever you think would benefit agents. I think that's an invaluable proposition. Most agents don't. They hold to themselves. They're not willing to give away things that are successful for them. And I like being open and sharing things, because no matter what, I can do everything that you're doing and I'm not going to be Bettina.
Right.
At the end of the day, we're all in a space.
And I will never be Shaune. Like, we're so different. Like, your person is your person. My person is my person. You're you're so on point.
Well, very good. Well, thank you for the interview. Thank you for everyone that's tuned in. I know I put it live on Facebook this time. We'll have a recording and it'll post probably in the next couple of weeks. Bettina has been incredibly open and honest. I really appreciate that from her. And everyone watching, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's all I really ask. And look for great interviews coming up in the future, and have a high performance week. Thank you.
High performance week. Thank you, Shaune, for having me.
That wraps up another episode of Real Estate Success DFW. I hope you're leaving with new insights that push your real estate career forward. If you enjoyed the show, please be sure to subscribe, leave a review, or share it with fellow agents who's ready to succeed. And if you're interested in working together or have any questions, I'd love to hear from you. Reach out to me directly. My personal phone is 214-228-0383. Let's connect and make real estate success happen together. Until next time, keep pushing forward. I'm Shaune Corbett, and this is the Real Estate Success DFW. Have a high performance week.